Hey, this is for my JMC class. This is about the blog that is, uh, I have suddenly forgotten the name. Social Media and Countering Hate Speech. Uh, Hate speech is something that pollutes, sadly, everywhere on the internet, and in a lot of cases, hate speech pollutes everyday life in a lot of places, at least in my experience. The main thing I like to talk about is the TED Talk video, and one thing specifically that stood out to me was the distinction between trolling and hate speech. I think the problem when thinking about it like that is that it so trolling on the internet is something where someone is doing something antagonistic with the specific intention of getting a response. Many trolls, as people call them, will do this in whatever way they can. They will say whatever they want to, they'll say whatever they need to in order to get a response, and they love it when a ton of people flood their DMs. I used to be friends with someone who did this online very frequently. They would play games like Call of Duty, and they'd just go into the voice chat and just say the most heinous crap. And I didn't know they did this until eventually they were on their phone so often. I was like, who are you texting that much? And they told me all about it. And then I stopped being friends with them just because I didn't realize that they even held some of the opinions they held. And also, they had some choice words that I wasn't super agreeable with. But the thing is this guy would say truly heinous things, things that would definitely qualify as hate speech, but all they wanted was to get attention. All he wanted was people to talk to him, get mad at him, scream at him, report his accounts, whatever. And nothing ever came of it besides exactly what he wanted. People would get mad at him, people would talk to him. Even the people who were calm and giving him cites and articles, he's like, oh, they're putting so much effort into this, I've already won. And so, for me, it's a game of don't interact with them. I understand the points that were made about if you don't interact with them, that's all that's on the internet. But it's also that the reality is you either on the internet have to be okay with getting hate, have to be okay with ignoring hate, or have to be okay with the people who you're talking to feeling like they've won, right? Because the only reason the person I knew kept doing this stuff is because people kept responding. And even if people didn't respond, he would still do it because eventually one person would do it, right? And so it's a very hard subject because there's no real way to win unless there's some kind of consequences. Consequences are something that are very hard to talk about when it pertains to the internet because there's the air that you shouldn't be in trouble if you say something mean on the internet. It's just, oh, well, I said something mean on the internet. Who cares? Stop being a snowflake. And I think that does largely stem from the fact that a lot of people believe they should be able to say these things in real life. They should be able to say them, out in the open in the supermarket and not get in trouble for that as well. But there's the frequent ability that people say these things and don't get in trouble. Their accounts don't get banned no matter how often they get reported. They can say whatever they want. They can threaten whoever they want, do whatever they want, and nothing will come from it. There have been times in my life where I have been the target of hate speech, both in real life and online. I'm not a very chronically online person or online at all. And so when I was targeted, it was from people who I went to high school with. I had come out as gay. I'd been out as gay for a while, and they were very not happy. I was in Nebraska, so a lot of people didn't like it, and there was a couple people who were very adamant about about wanting me to hurt myself, wanting me to kill myself. I don't care, and I still didn't care. But what I did is I knew that they were doing this to other people. I knew for a fact other people were doing this, and I knew for a fact there were people who were really affected by this. There were people who were actually hurting themselves in real life, and as far as I know, no one ever committed suicide over it, but I can only hope that it hasn't happened since. What I did is I took screenshots of the chats, and I had friends send me screenshots of what they were doing, and I went to the principal about it. Um, and, well, nothing was done. I had a meeting with this guy where we both had to apologize to each other for I had to apologize for antagonizing him, and he had to apologize for saying the things he said to me. But what I apologized for antagonizing him with was I had asked other people to send me information about it. Apparently, I wasn't supposed to do that. I wasn't supposed to try and call him out on the internet. It's not like I made a post or anything, it was all DMs. But what I mean is, the internet is a byproduct of the society we currently live in and the air that this stuff doesn't matter. That if you get hurt by these words, you're somehow less it's somehow less than if you were, punched or something. And I get it. It's a different type of pain. Getting punched sucks. And the reality is, I would rather have someone call me the F slur than get punched. But also, I know people who would prefer the opposite. The simple fact is that the society we live in lets this all happen very frequently. I mean, hell, currently there's a huge systemic racism going on in the ICE deportations going on, and no one's covering it. It's absurd. And so, when in regards to social media, my opinion on it is that we just need to move away from it. I think the best way to do that is we need to stop having this weird interconnected web where everyone knows everything all the time about anyone. It's a very radical opinion, but I don't see a world where social media is a largely positive thing while everyone is still allowed to interact with each other however they want to. Because kids, teenagers, even adults who don't know much about the internet will go on to this thinking it's positive, thinking that all they're going to do is have fun and get in trouble. The thing is if you're in a voice chat with someone on Call of Duty and you talk and you're 9 years old, so you have a high-pitched voice, you're going to get a bunch of people calling you a squeaker, calling you a kid, calling you things that I shouldn't say on a school post. And it doesn't matter. It's not just people are going to attack you over, political stuff. It's that people will attack you over whatever they possibly can. The study by Pew said that about 50% of the people said there was political intent. The other 50% is most likely people just trying to be mean. People just wanting some kind of reaction for some morbid, sadistic ideology they hold. And the political part of it, I think, is one that's easier to tackle because there's some reason to it. But the other side of it is the area of life we've cultivated on the internet is that you can say what you want and not get in trouble. And that either needs to change or the internet itself needs to change. And the internet itself will not change. It will change as the times go, but it will not change by the obligation of some people not liking how it's working. That's never how it's worked. Maybe it is. Maybe it will be. But it probably won't. But yeah, I do hope things change. I hope things get better. But I do think in order for the internet to change, the world needs to first. And, well, as Trump said immediately after bombing Iran, now is a time for peace. So I think that sums up pretty well the state of the world we're in.